Two Inamax DS nitric oxide delivery systems provided by BOC are available. They're situated on B3 North at the back of the equipment room, which is the first room on the right. Before you use the machine, you need to perform some tests, and for this purpose a test circuit has already been incorporated onto the machine. Ensure a sticker is in situ to ensure you're using clean disposables. The sticker should be removed when the machine is in use. You should check that all the disposables that you require are present on the machine. Here we can see the end of the sample line, and this runs back to the water trap and connects on the filter in front of it. Here we can see the nitric injection tubing, as the nitric flows through this tubing from the machine to the injector module. You should make sure you have a water separation cartridge engaged properly into the machine. It sits above the water trap. The water trap is not disposable, and when it is taken off, it should be fixed back on, and you should make sure that you have a tight connection. When you've finished with the test circuit, you'll need a sample line adapter. This can be found at the back of the machine. You'll also find additional filters here. The green light on the top left of the machine indicates the machine is plugged in. Unplug the machine. Take the machine to the bed space and re-plug the machine in, ensuring the green light comes back on, indicating the machine is plugged in. Take the oxygen hose in, ensuring the groove is upright, and plug into an oxygen port and do a tug test. Before you start doing any pre-use checks, you should make sure that all your disposables are connected securely. Particular attention should be given to the filter and the connections between the sample line outlet and the filter. The water trap is not disposable, but you should make sure it's on tightly. And the water separation cartridge should be securely fitted. Ensure the clear nitric injection tubing is securely connected to the machine and the injector module. The switch can be found easily at the back of the machine. Turn it on. The machine now checks some internal components and boots up. Using the icon on the top right, see when the high-level calibration performed by the intensive care technicians is due. If this is timed out, the machine shouldn't be used. Have a look at the machine. Ensure that the backup delivery switch has not been switched on, so it's on 0. Have a look at the Ina blender and make sure it's not been switched on. Identify the pressure gauges on top of the cylinder. You need to make sure any gas primed in the cylinder head is removed. If the dial's not pointing to the red icon, there's gas in the cylinder head that you have to remove. To do this, turn the dial on the cylinder head clockwise to ensure it's completely closed. Identify the grey lead that transports the nitric from the cylinder to the machine. Find the very end of the lead and, very much like a blood pressure cuff, push it towards the back of the machine until it's released. In order to get rid of the gas from the cylinder head, you have to take the lead and place it in this small port, and you'll hear the gas escaping. You now replace the lead and do a quick tug test. Now, facing the back of the machine, turn the dial on the cylinder head quickly anti-clockwise and then clockwise to turn it on and off. Have a look at the pressure dial and wait for 30 seconds and make sure that the dial's not dropped. And then repeat this with your second cylinder. Waiting for 30 seconds again. This test shows there's not a leak in the system. To perform a low calibration of the machine's sensors, go to the top right hand icon and press low calibration. And press low calibration again. The machine now performs a low calibration of the sensors to atmospheric air. Green bars show a successful calibration. Red bars would show the calibration had failed. Press the top right hand icon twice to get back to the main menu. Ensure Inamax cylinders are closed. If your test kit is still connected, set the O2 flow meter to 10 litres a minute on the Ina blender. Press the middle icon and turn the cursor to 40 parts per million. And press on the cursor to confirm. You should get the cylinder valve closed alarm. Have a look at the pressure dial on the cylinder. The dial should be dropping. Purge is complete when low NO, N2 pressure alarms activate. With you facing the back of the machine, turn one of the cylinders on by turning the dial anti-clockwise till it's completely open. Have a look at the front display and the cylinder icons on the left hand side. The cylinder you've turned on should have a green head. Press the middle icon and turn the dial to turn the dose to 0. Set dose is 0, closed cylinder valve always comes up when the set dose is 0. Don't turn the cylinder off at this time. You have left the cylinder on as you will now perform some tests on the machine. The Arno blender should be switched off with the oxygen flow meter at 10 litres per minute. Turn the backup delivery to on, 250 ml a minute. You don't need to turn the dose on the screen as this is an emergency feature that gives you a pneumatic set amount of nitric in an emergency. The dose the patient receives is dependent on the flow of the ventilator. This is discussed in more detail at another part of the video series. Allow 2 to 3 minutes for the monitored values to stabilise and make sure the nitric oxide, or NO, reads between 14 to 26 and the NO2, or nitrogen dioxide, reads below 1. The information sheet attached to the two machines, which also details the rest of the pre-use tests that are required. When you're happy the dose is within range, turn the backup delivery to off. and you're ready to perform your next test. To perform the normal machine performance test, press the NO icon on the display. Turn the control knob to 40 parts per million and confirm by pressing the knob. The Arno Blender flow meter should still be on 10 litres. And your test circuit should still be in the same orientation. With this test, the acceptable NO, or nitric oxide value, should be between 35 and 45 parts per million. The acceptable NO2, or nitrogen dioxide, below 1.5 parts per million. The O2 reading should be 95% plus or minus 3%. The Arno Blender works independently of the main unit to deliver a pneumatic supply of nitric oxide. Unlike with normal operation or using the backup switch, the nitric is not delivered to the injector module but through the oxygen port, so the injector module should be disconnected from the test circuit, with the test circuit attached to itself again. When this is done, the dial of the Arno Blender should be set to 40 parts per million, with the O2 flow still on 10 litres. The acceptable NO or nitric oxide values to enable a passed Arno Blender test are 32 to 48 parts per million. When you're happy that the values are within range, you can turn the dose to 0 and turn off the flow meter. Now, facing the back of the machine, turn the cylinder that's on off by turning it clockwise. You'll know it's off by looking at the main display. The cylinder icons will no longer have a green head. You can now remove the tester circuit from the machine, disconnecting the sample line here. You shouldn't dispose of this test circuit though, as it's reusable, and it should be cleaned with Clenel wipes and replaced in B3 North in the allocated box. Now that you've finished with the test circuit, you need another sample line adapter, and these can be found at the back of the machine and screwed on here.